Today's cook with me is a Mediterranean couscous bowl. It's one of my favourites, a really quick one. It's so lovely in the summer. And yeah, it's really tasty. Now, what a lot of people don't realise is that couscous is actually a pasta. They think it's a wheat and it's not, it's actually a pasta. So, what are we going to need? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the hardware, then the ingredients. If you haven't got anything or you need to go and pick something up, pause, go fetch what you need and then come back and start. So hardware first, you're going to need a kettle with some water in it. So I'm going to do that. Then you're going to need a cup. I use that for measuring. I tend to not bother with scales. A bowl for the food, fork and a chopping knife, basically, because we're going to chop some of these things up. Ingredients wise, you have your couscous, and I would definitely have lemon. You can have cucumber, tomato, you can have sort of watercress. I'm not particularly keen on that, so that's why I don't do that. Got feta, and I love olives, so I'm going to put some olives. These are a little bit spicy as well, so it's going to give a really nice oomph. I've also got olive oil or hemp oil. I'm tending to move away from olive oil because hemp oil is actually a little bit healthier. So I'm tending to use that, and it's actually got quite a nice flavour. But if you want olive oil, you can have olive oil. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our kettle on to boil. So you've filled it up with water just now, and we're going to put it on the hob. Then we're going to measure out our couscous. So we'll open up the packet. Now, the couscous you can usually find with the rice and the pasta. So I'm going to put it into my cup. So I need to think of this as being rolled pasta. There we go. That goes on. And as you can see, I've got a really nice full cup. And then what I'm going to do is we are just going to pour that into our bowl. That's a bit damp in there. So there we go. Flatten it out. And then what we do is we use the cup to work out how much water. Basically, you want to cover the couscous because that's what's going to absorb the water, and it's kind of hydrates it basically. So I'm going to put that to the side for the moment. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting my tomatoes and my cucumber and my feta ready to go in. Again, how much you use, I haven't put amounts in because it really is down to personal preference. I love tomatoes, particularly these lovely cherry tomatoes. They're some of my favourite. I try and stay local as much as possible. If you can, that would be great. So let's put that there. I've also got some mint as well that I actually picked from our garden. You could try this. You can actually get some mint and you can actually grow it on the windowsill. It's absolutely lovely. But I went out, I picked it, and that's fresh from the garden. But whatever you get from the supermarket is fine too. So let's chop up our tomatoes, any shape, size, whatever way you like it. I like mine in slices, but that's a personal preference. There we go. And we just keep chopping away. Nice thing about the cherry ones is you don't have to take out the stalky bit in the middle because they're so small. It's hardly grown really. Next thing is the cucumber. Take the plastic off. I don't know why they put plastic on these things. Not very environmentally friendly, and quite frankly the outside of the cucumber is let's just get that plastic off, is absolutely fine for protecting it, so it's always mystified me. That's going to go in the bin. I'm just going to rinse this and give it a quick wipe down. And then again, the cucumber is as much as you want to put in. So I'm going to put a little bit. That's going to go in the compost bin. I tend to cut down the middle and do it like that. I like tiny little cubes of cucumber. Obviously, at this point, we're trying to be careful with our fingers. The amount of times I've sliced my fingers up, I don't know. So I'm cutting them into long slices and then going the opposite direction to get tiny little cubes, as you can see. I really like that flavour hit. So again, slice down longwise, avoiding slicing fingers, as I said before. Turn them, and then we just go across and get those nice tiny little chunks. There we go. Great, did that. All right, this is a really quick meal. Next is our feta, so let's open that up. Yeah, so if I can. Actually, I've got the scissors. Let's use the scissors. Oh, kettle's gone. Come back to the feta in a minute. There's the kettle. Let's get that. So now what we want to do is we want to cover the feta. So I'm going to do it by cup. So I'm going to pour it into the cup, and that way I can control how much comes out. So let's put that for the second there. And just putting it over. Yeah, there we go. That covers that. Can put this back. As you can see, we're just going to spread it round. Here we go. As you can see, it's already starting to absorb the water. So what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to put this over here out of the way, but I'm also going to cover it with the tea cloth so that it steams as well. There we go. Really nice. And then we keep on chopping. Actually, before I do the feta, I'm going to do my mint. I'm going to chop that up small so that I get some really nice flavours. Again, as I'm always saying, we don't need to be top chefs. This is about feeding ourselves healthily, quickly, and with ingredients that really feed the body as much as they do the mind and the soul. So it's not perfection we're looking for. We're just looking for flavours. Now, I have a tendency, I don't know if you've noticed in my other cook with me's, I have a tendency not to put seasoning in, just because I'm not a salt and pepper person. But if you do like that, do remember to put some salt and pepper on. You can use other herbs as well. That's totally up to you. So that's my mint. Lovely jubbly. Probably. Here we go. And now we get the feta out. Now, I don't want too much feta. I'm just going to do maybe a quarter of the block. I like the flavour of feta, but I don't like it too overpowering. And again, I'm just going to do it into slices because I like to have small bites of flavour mixing in with the couscous. There we go. And then done it down slices, and then we just go the other way to get little chunks of feta that we can spread throughout the couscous. There we go, and then I just chop. So there we go. Now, the final ingredient you can see is the lemon and the olives. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to chop the olives up a little bit while we're waiting for the couscous. Shouldn't take that long, just a few minutes. Now, these are quite spicy. I don't know if you can see, they've got some garlic and spice. I bought them like that. So I'm just going to cut these. Now, I prefer putting them in without taking the pips out, but other people like the pips out, so you can do that if you've got them with pips. If not, let me just wash my hands. Okay. If not, you can cut them out. These ones have got missing, so I'm just going to cut them in half and get that so that I can mix in that flavour. I love olives. Being Greek Cypriot, you can imagine that I kind of grew up on them. I remember my grandmother saying to my dad that my sister and I ate them like feta, which is Greek for sweets. They are delicious. But if you're not an olive fan, just leave it out. So last is the lemon. Now you can have a lemon squeezer. I tend not to worry. I use a fork and I just squeeze it like that. And then any pips that come in, I just pick them out. I'm not that fussed. But if you've got a lemon squeezer, use it. So let's have a look at the couscous. Let's see what we're doing. Yes, look at that. So you can see it's got a lot bigger and it's fluffier. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, that's it, fluff it up basically, because it's flattened down and got all sticky because of the water we've added. Gosh, very nice. Look at that. That is delicious. And this is such a quick meal, so quick and easy. You've seen how quickly we've done this. I think this might be less than 10 minutes. Next thing you do is you literally add your ingredients. So you put your tomatoes in, or whatever it is, the cucumber, the olives, put that all in. Okay. Like I said, this is where you would probably season it. I'm not going to because I don't like added sugar, added salt, sorry. Guess what's on my mind? And then finally our feta. Then we're going to put a little bit of oil. Going to do this Cypriot style. So some people use olive oil. I'm using the hemp. And you literally, I'm going to do 3 twists basically. So 1, 2, 3. And that's more than enough oil. And if you're putting vinegar on, you would do 3 twists of the vinegar as well. But we're not. What we're going to add is the lemon. There you go. So I just squeeze that round. I love lemon. It just seems to me to be sort of the missing ingredient from a lot of food. And it's a bit like, you know what? Life can be a bit like that as well. It tastes fine on its own, but the lemon just adds that zing that sort of pulls the whole dish together. And there are times in life where there's certain things where that can happen. So it could be a walk in a woodland, or it could be a conversation you've had with somebody, and or even, sort of sitting and stroking your dog, or asleep overnight, whatever it is, sometimes that can be the missing ingredient that changes everything. So it's quite important that we leave room for the little added ingredient in life. Right, done that. And then what I'm going to do is just mix it all in. So we want that oil to get really into the couscous for all the salad bits that you've done, the pasta, the feta, the olives, so they all get really mixed in, so you have a really nice, and you will find this a really, really satisfying meal. Now, if you're vegetarian, this is an absolutely brilliant dish. If you want to add some meat, you can. That's where you can add a little bit of ham, or bacon, or chicken if you've got some chicken slices. So there you go, a bowl of couscous, Mediterranean style. And what's really nice, using the hemp oil as well, because it's got the GPL1s, it's going to be really filling. So brilliant meal, keep you going. Now, what I'd recommend, as like the others, pause here, go and eat, and then if you want to, you can come back and you can use me as a body double to clean up the kitchen. Bon appetit! Right, let's clean this up. I can put my oils back. I'm going to put my things back in the fridge. Let's move that out of the way. I'm going to put these back in the fridge. So that's the feta, the olives, the cucumber and tomato. Couscous goes back in the right back. We're going to wash this up. I'm going to put that in the wash because I've used that a lot now. So I'm going to put these in the wash, clean down my board. Get the washing up liquid, put that on, clean down my board. That's done. Clean my knife off. My fork. Scissors. And cup. That will go in the wash. And I'm going to put these in the compost bin. And that's it. It's all tidied up. Hopefully you enjoyed your food and I'll see you next time.